Hi, in this lecture we're going to talk about the types of guitars and their parts. Now, although any style of music can be played with any types of guitars, some guitars are designed or more suited for a certain type or certain kind of music. So if we take a look at the guitar I have now, we call that the acoustic guitar. Sometimes we call it the folk guitar, but the common name is the steel string guitar because of the type of the strings. We have 3 steel strings at the bottom, and you can hear from the sound it's quite high and quite distinction. This type of guitar is the most versatile of all. It can we play it in pop, rock, jazz, blues, or any other type like country, and we can play it with a pick, which is this piece of plastic, or we can play it with a fingerstyle. So if I demo, for example, a strumming pattern or a song, something like this with the chords. Okay, fingerstyle, we can play something like this. That's cover filled by Simon and Garfunkel, of course. So this guitar is suited to all kinds of music, whether it's jazz, blues, rock, or pop. And I totally recommended that you do not start with this one because of the type or the nature of the strings, the steel strings. It will make your fingertips hurt in the beginning because of the chords, and when you press hard on these strings, it will not be that tolerated in the beginning. So what kind of guitar I recommend to use in the beginning? The type I recommend is the classical guitar. So this is the classical guitar, or the type of guitar that I recommend. Sometimes they call this guitar the nylon string, again because of the nature of the strings, which is these 3 strings are nylon. So, but the classical guitar is the most common name for this type of guitar. Now, I totally recommend this one to start with because of the type of the strings, and the strings are nylon, and it will make your fingertips less hurt and less swallow at the beginning. Okay, now this type of guitar is not totally suited for the type of music we are going to play, which is the pop and the rock, but you can still practice or use this one in the beginning until your fingers and your fingertips are a little bit harder, especially these fingertips on the left hand, and then you can choose what type of guitar you would like to purchase, because again, this one, it doesn't cost that much. I think you can start with $50 or $100 maximum to get a decent classical guitar in the beginning. The neck of the guitar is also slightly wider than the acoustic and the electric guitar, and so is the spacing between the strings, because usually we play with the fingers, so we need more room for our right hand, something like or romanza. So we need more room between the strings so we can play the guitar. So again, this is not the best recommended type of guitar for this music, but it is the most recommended guitar to start with because of the nature of the strings. Okay, so you listen to that this guitar and the sound that comes from it, and you listen to the acoustic guitar or the steel strings guitar and the type of sound, which is totally suited for the songs that we are going to use, but the strings are not that tolerant, all right? The last kind of guitar we're going to talk about is the electric guitar. Okay, so the last kind of guitar we're going to talk about is the electric guitar. So this is my electric guitar, okay, and it's hooked up to an amplifier through this cable. Okay, so if I play a chord or something, now without an amplifier you will not hear anything. If I close this down, you can't hear anything. Okay, so you have to, if you want to purchase or you want to go with the electric guitar, you have to purchase the electric guitar and the amplifier as well. It's particularly popular, of course, in the rock music, but it also can, we can use it in the jazz and the blues and other genre like the country and so on. Like the steel string guitar, it's often played with a pick. Okay. I'm sure you know the sound of the electric guitar. I don't need to demonstrate the electric guitar for you, but you have to play it with a pick, or 99% of the guitarists who play electric guitar play it with a pick, except for like a few, like Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits, he played with 3 fingers. Now, do I recommend this one? Actually, I recommend this one because the strings are easier than the steel strings. Okay, it's not that hard on the fingertips like the steel strings, and it totally goes with the type of songs what we're going to cover in this course, and the strumming and the chords and the reading the tabs and playing the melodies. All this goes with the electric guitar. The only downside is the cost. Okay, you have to have the guitar and the amplifier. Okay. Now there's another thing, but I don't want to go, with all the details, which is like distortion or pedals that give you different sounds for the electric guitar. But most of the modern amplifiers now comes with a built-in effects, so you can change the sound that comes out from the amplifier. So the cost is the only thing that will prevent you from start with the electric guitar. But otherwise, I totally recommend that if you want to go with the rock music, start with the electric guitar from the beginning. Okay, don't listen to, you have to start with the classical guitar and then switch to electric guitar. Yes, this might be right for kids, but for an adults, if you want to learn the electric guitar or the rock guitar or the blues or whatever genre you want to learn, you can start with the electric guitar immediately without going through the classical, then the acoustic, then the electric guitar. So the last thing I want to talk about is the different parts of the guitar. Now you've seen the classical and the acoustic and the electric guitars. They all look the same except for a few changes or a few minor differences. But all the 3 kinds of guitar, all these guitars have the same parts in common. So for example, all guitars have a neck. This is called a neck. And on the neck we have something called the fretboard. You see these metal bars, this is called fret. So this is fret number 1, fret number 2, fret number 3, until fret number 19 on the acoustic and the classic, or 21 or 24 on the electric guitar. So we call that the fretboard. Now on the fretboard we have these dots, and on the acoustic and the electric you only have the dots on the fingerboard. On the classical guitar you only have the dots over here, if you can see the dots here, and these dots are on 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 15 and 17 fret. It's kind of like a map, so you don't get lost. Now this is a little bit advanced, it's not for the beginners, but I just want to mention what is these dots for. So it's kind of like a map. So we have the neck, we have the fretboard. The strings are tied by 2 ends. The first end is called the tuning keys, and we're going to learn about how to tune the guitar very shortly. And on the other end we have something called the bridge, and this is where the strings actually get attached. Now the bridge is different in every kind of guitar. So you'll see on the acoustic guitar and on the electric guitar, there are like pins for the strings to go inside. On the classic guitar, you have to tie it manually. So we also have a bridge, but we don't have pins. So you have to like do it by hand. And of course we have the strings. This is the string number 1. We count from the bottom. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is the 6th string, or low E, low in sound, not in position. And this is high E, again high in sound, not in position. So we count from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the names of the strings, we're going to learn them when we start to tune the guitar. Of course, we have the body. All guitars have a body. Sound hole. The electric guitar doesn't have a sound hole because it's connected to an amplifier. This is something especially for the acoustic guitar, which is called a pick guard. When we play and when we strum, very often we hit the body of the guitar with the pick. So in order to preserve the body of the guitar, they have a pick guard, a plastic thing, just to protect the body of the guitar from scratches. That's it. That's the job of it. What else? On the here we have this plastic thing we call the nut. This is very important when we start to talk about the chord diagram and how to read the chord diagram. We're going to refer to this piece of the nut, and that's it. That's all the different parts of the guitar. We have the tuning keys. Maybe this is called the head of the guitar, the bridge, the neck, the fingerboard, the sound hole, the body, and the 6 strings. All right, that's the different parts of the guitar. And if you look at the diagram and the book, you'll see these parts on the different kinds of guitars. So I hope this lecture was very clear on the types of guitars and what kind of guitar you will need, or what's the differences between the classic, the acoustic, and the electric guitar, and what is the best guitar for you to play this course or to do this course with me. If you don't have a guitar, I totally recommend that you start with the classical or the electric. The acoustic guitar, again, is the best one for this course, but it is really, really hard on the fingertips. I started with the acoustic guitar and I couldn't continue for more than 2 months, and then I sold it and I bought a classical guitar. So if you already have a guitar, that's fine. Any type of guitar will be good for this course. But if you don't have one, I strongly recommend that you start with the classical. Trust me, you will love me for this tip, okay? Don't buy acoustic guitar in the beginning. Maybe later on, it sounds great, I know. But in the beginning, you need something that will encourage you to practice. If your fingertips hurts a lot, you will not practice for a long time. And if you don't practice, there's not gonna be any progress, and eventually you will quit. So I hope I made myself very clear at this point. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next lecture. Bye.